Good morning, friends. Prepared Suburbanite. Back at you with the thought for the day, I guess. Are boycotts truly effective? I know that on a personal basis, there are a number of companies, retailers, things like that, that I just don't spend any money with on purpose. And I don't know if you're doing the same thing, but I want to get into a little bit of detail about the effectiveness of boycotts. So stick around. First up, I think we should define what a boycott is. And here's the best definition that I found after doing some searching, because they seem to be slanted one way or another. This one seems to be pretty straightforward. And here's the definition: to abstain from or act together in abstaining from using, buying, dealing with, or participating in as an expression of protest or disfavor, or as a means of coercion. Now that seems to be pretty straightforward, and I think if we're going to be talking about the effectiveness of boycotts, the biggest example that's out there is what happened in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955. You may have all heard of Rosa Parks. Well, Rosa Parks was a worker in downtown Montgomery, Alabama, and would take the municipal bus to and from work. And back in the day, in 1955, they had segregated portions of that bus, of any of the buses, where the blacks had to sit in the back, the whites got to sit in the front. There was a line of demarcation there. And one particular evening, Rosa Parks was asked to give up her seat in the black-only section in the rear of the bus for a white person who got on that bus, and she refused. And she was escorted off the bus. And that was the start of it. The black citizenry in Montgomery, Alabama realized that they were the ones that were actually funding the entire bus route, things with their ticket prices. And so they decided as a group to boycott the buses, and they just stopped using the buses. And it didn't take long for the city of Montgomery to realize that, hey, now wait a minute, we're losing a ton of money here. And shortly thereafter, because they were using carpools, and they were walking, riding bicycles, doing all kinds of alternate transportation to get themselves to and from downtown or to and from work. And it didn't take too awful long. The word got out to churches and civic organizations and all that, and the boycott turned out to be effective. And it was the springboard for the civil rights movement that we, or at least folks my age, lived through in the 60s. On a personal basis, here are some of the companies, retailers, etc., that I personally don't deal with at all anymore. And the first one is Target. The Target chain of department stores, I guess. My first inkling was that they, when they passed their gun-free zone policies at the store, meaning that they were willing to remove any form of self-defense that you may believe in, that is in our Constitution. It's a God-given right, and our Constitution's there to protect that right. they decided that they were going to make their stores gun-free zones. And that's when I stopped going there. But they kept piling it on. Couple of years after that debacle for me was their bathroom policy. They decided that no matter what your birth sex was, or whatever your XX and XY chromosomes were, didn't matter at all. Anybody could use any bathroom at all. And there were a couple of incidents, from what I can recollect anyway, that folks would end up getting assaulted in Target restrooms. So that just reinforced my decision on staying away from and not spending my money at any Target. Their most recent pile-on, I think, was the merchandise that they were selling about a year ago that was targeted for children, that I found very, very distasteful. And there was quite a lot of hue and cry about Target's merchandise marketing policies at the time. So that was the crowning glory for me to say, you know, I made the right decision about Target. Next up on my list is Bud Light, or I guess any of the Anheuser-Busch brands of beer. And as folks that know me know, I enjoy my beer. And I haven't had a Bud Light or a Budweiser or a Michelob in probably 30 or 40 years anyway. I think the last one I remember was having a Michelob at a restaurant, bar, tavern kind of a thing when we lived in New Hampshire over 20 plus years ago. And it's the only thing that they had. You got your choice. It was either Bud Light or Bud or Michelob Light. And that was the only choice you got. Didn't really want to be there, but so I had a beer, and that was the last time I ever had it. But their recent marketing debacle with the weird dude really just sent me over the edge, and I think it did for an awful lot of people. Countless millions of dollars were lost from their revenue and their stock valuation. If they had it to do over again, I'm not sure they learned their lesson, but they probably would do it again. So I'm going to stay away from Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch until they can prove to me that they've got the right stuff going for them. Number 3 on my list was the NRA. I quit. I had been an NRA proponent for a long, long time. I used to buy my young grandsons junior memberships to the NRA, and they'd each get one of the 2 magazines that were going out. I was a recurring member. Kind of wanted to, back in the day when I was really into the shooting and hunting sports and all that, really wanted to procure for myself a lifetime membership, and I'm so glad today I didn't. Wayne LaPierre, when he took over as the whatever position he's got, president or executive vice president, he's running the show. And he started doing all this lavish expense account stuff with expensive suits and this and that. And at the same time, some of their, in fact, many of their policies that they were pushing, red flag laws, things like that, just seemed to be against what the membership base was really asking for. They're a top-heavy organization. They're going to trial, I think, Monday the 8th, which is today when I'm filming this. You won't see this one until tomorrow morning. So the trial starts. One of their executive vice presidents has already copped a plea, admitted guilt for taking money that really wasn't his to take, and he's going to pay restitutions and stuff like that. And the deal was that he doesn't have to go to trial and face any kind of charges. Wayne LaPierre has not done that as of yet. I don't know, but the trial starts Monday, the 8th, which is today. So I'm not going to give any more money to the NRA. Gun Owners of America and many of the state, local folks, they're the ones getting my Second Amendment dollars now, but not the NRA. There's still a chance that if the NRA can turn itself around, that maybe someday in the future, once they prove that they're on the right track, I may reconsider. There are a number of other companies, and as I was researching a little for this presentation, I ended up on the ethicalconsumer.org website, and they have got an exhaustive list of companies that they feel we should boycott. Now, that includes Pepsi-Cola Company, Home Depot, Starbucks, Disney, Coca-Cola, Fox News, and there are a bunch of others, and they've got it kind of broken down by category. One is like worker conditions and stuff like that. So if you're going to look at Amazon, for example, they've come under an awful lot of fire for treating their employees very poorly, underpaying them, making them work ungodly hours and stuff like that. So if that's your thing, then Amazon is there. But go check out the ethicalconsumer.org website and see what you see out there. So that's so much for speaking with our wallets. Let's talk about speaking with your feet. I see the movement going on right now with the out-migrations from blue states, the in-migrations to red states. California has been underperforming as far as population growth goes. They've lost, I think, 2 seats in the House because their population has declined. Maybe it's more. I'm not quite sure, but I know they've lost seats in the House because their population has declined. We picked up one here in North Carolina. Texas picked up one. I think Florida picked up one. So there's a number of blue states that are losing population. New York, Illinois, and California for sure. People are they're speaking with their feet. They're saying, we're done with all these leftist liberal policies and we're leaving. I'm not going to be paying these high rates of taxes. I am not going to be watching the cities in my beautiful state of California just go to the Dickens with poop maps in San Francisco and homeless people just doing all kinds of weird stuff on the sidewalks in town for what used to be one of the most beautiful cities around. And it's just gone to pieces, just to be nice about it. So folks are migrating with their feet. They're speaking with their feet. And I think that's truly the right thing to do. It has some unintended consequences. And let me just say this. You can take it for the way you want. The blue states get bluer when conservatives and Republicans, libertarians move out of state. So the blue states get bluer, and the bluer they get, the crazier they get. The policies and laws that they're enacting that erode our God-given liberties, the liberties that our government is supposed to protect for us, they feel like they've got even a more succinct impetus to do that kind of crazy nonsense. On the other side of the coin, folks that are in red states, that are migrating to red states, oftentimes bring an awful lot of their blue state ideas with them, and that can erode some of the fundamental things that we take for granted, unfortunately, here in these beautiful United States. So there's good things, there's bad things. I think the migration patterns speak loudly for what's really going on in the country, and it gives me a peace of mind to know that there are folks that are conservative, folks that are that believe in our Constitution, that are willing to fight for it, that are willing to sacrifice for it, that they are speaking with their wallets and speaking with their feet. This is the Prepared Suburbanite, and with all this in mind, I urge you to be prepared always, and I'll see you all on the next video.